Buddy, we are not live yet, are we? We're not.
We are.
We are live. Okay. Usually it takes a little longer to pass over. Okay. Hell yeah. Okay. So we are live, everybody. Welcome to our Wednesday stream. Thank you for tuning in. Phil, let's just have a little 11th edition chit chat here as the people get some time to maybe see that we're actually streaming. How has your first couple weeks of 11th edition been? Let's start there.
So I just hit my 20th game of 11th edition. I feel the pressure because I haven't played enough matchups. I haven't played enough games. I am feeling I'm feeling the uncertainty of 11th edition. And I feel like I've probably played more games than most, and I still feel that way. So, you know, the list building aspect for me has been an incredibly refreshing thing of where I feel like I'm playing completely different lists and I'm thinking about the game in different ways because of the different dispositions and how those kind of match up. So yeah, it's been a very difficult thing, I would say. Like it's not easy to figure out how the new dispositions match up with the new meta, with all of those new things. So yeah, it's been interesting.
Yeah, I think that'd be one of the things. I haven't played nearly 20 games, Phil, but I have feel like from the games I've watched, from the games I have played, one of the things that has become just very very apparent, and you guys talked a bit about this with the CSM video, right? Is kind of how some armies just do some dispositions better, right? And it's really one of the things, and I think that's one of the things we'll kind of be able to talk about within our tier list today. Is some armies just have better combinations of the detachments that want to do certain things are actually paired with the detachments that do that thing, right?
Mhm.
So one of the things that I have noticed as a guard player is like I still love my combined arms, but I want combined arms to play a purge style game. I don't want to play take and hold. Like it's just it's meant to go kill things no matter what's in front of it. At least the
Sure.
army I play, to where it's that like setting those expectations a little bit differently on how I would build a list in 10th versus 11th. And so I think that's one of those things we can kind of talk about is some of the armies, especially the top armies, you're like, not only does it have a crazy good detachment in 11th, but the mission it plays just is like chef's kiss. Like they just go together so well.
Yeah. Yeah. And some people may feel like their disposition and their detachment don't match up and they have to probably go beyond what they want to. I think a lot of players are going to look at the dispositions. I initially as well, and to an extent still do, is like I see Take and Hold and Purge as the two missions that for some of my armies they just do really well.
Hmm.
Some of my armies really like Take and Hold. Some of my armies really like Purge. But then on the flip side, some of my armies really don't want to do Purge or Take and Hold. Like I can't do those well with Genestealer Cult. It's just never going to happen. I'm never going to be able to hold my objective for a full round. I'm
What?
never going to be able to hold your objective for a full round. I have nowhere to hide. You're going to kill me. So it's like that has inspired me to build lists certain ways with all the different factions that I play. So yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's definitely an adjustment, and we're here to take it in stride and hopefully impart some growing pains of our own onto y'all, so that maybe save you that step. But today is the day where we speculate like a motherfucker. We are going to be taking some wild stabs at the meta and just calling our shots on where we think things are going to be sitting in terms of their ability to win GTS, because that is the mastercrafted way. We do these ranked on how well we think they can actually win a GT. And so our tiers, we do have mastercrafted is our, oh man, yeah, what is going on here, Phil? We are not updated. Our top tier is mastercrafted. Our second is touched by a tech priest. Oh, geez, Phil, do you remember these top to bottom? Um, let's see. I'm gonna have to almost bring up one of our old ones. God, touched by a tech priest. It's chaos. It's like warp tainted. Blessed by the dark gods. Yes, and then, gosh dang, shit, Phil. It's been so long since we've done one of these. We've been waiting for new content. We finally have it here. And now I just feel so unprepared. Okay. Thankfully, you do remember. But anyway, while he's filling out that last one, it, it
I know this one.
what is this one? Come on, chat, help us out. You guys have seen our videos. God damn.
Oh. Oh no.
I know, bro. It's been so long. We do have those backwards, by the way. The reason you can't think of another one is because it's those five, and then the bottom one was just Imperial Agents for all of 10th edition. That's why we're fucking up. I was like, I'm trying to think of one. I could not think of one. And Mike P did convince us to technically put Blessed by the Dark Gods above Touched by a Tech Priest.
Okay.
So
All right.
we do have to adjust those. Sorry, folks. I hadn't even realized those weren't updated and stuff, but it is worth knowing, the tiers.
All right.
And
The
then
world is
Master
better
Crafted
than-
is still at the top. You went all the way to the top with Blessed. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, as we finish that up, sorry, folks. Up first, the old Adeptus Sororitas, the Sisters of Battle. What are your initial thoughts when you're thinking about them?
So, I understand that 11th edition is fast gun good. I get that, especially initially. There's some armies that we're going to get to that I believe are like in that place because of that thing. I think Sisters are solid, and I think they're going to be a good army. They have redundancy and good characters. They have access to regen, which we've talked about in multiple videos. I think is incredibly solid. They have access to 4-up invols on top of -1 to hit, on top of -1 to wound. Some of their infantry bricks can really take advantage of the hidden mechanic, which I like. They have good access to characters and resurrection and stand back up. I think they're incredibly solid. I think they have a lot of the tools in the meta. The one issue that they're going to have is they are not as fast. But that means that they're going to play closer games. I don't know if Sisters is going to blow anybody out of the water and get these huge diffs, but I do think they are going to be able to play their missions like Take and Hold. I don't think they want to play Purge. It doesn't strike me as something that they are super efficient into, because a lot of their army rules rely on you dying, right, to get those miracle dice. So do I think they play Disruption well? No, not as well as the other armies that do Disruption or Recon. I think their main money makers are going to be like priority assets, and I think it's Recon in a pinch and then Take and Hold are the three that they really, really want, because they have access to good OC, they have access to res, they have access to big bricks that want to go stand on an objective and do an action and then try to survive and then res back and flip an objective or control it. So for me, I think they're like the perfect right in the middle of the road army. They're going to do a few dispositions well. There's going to be a few dispositions that I think they struggle with.
Yeah. And I guess, Phil, maybe that's something we should talk about as well, is are we going to go with this as the scope of trying to play, at least 3 or 4 of the dispositions, maybe not 5, or are we going like in their peak detachment, playing with their bread and butter? How do we feel about them? Is this going to be more of a broad faction, or is this?
I think we have to do peak.
Yeah.
I think we have to do peak, because if we do broad, it's going to bring some armies down that people just need to be aware of. Because like if I say Custodes, like there's only 2 that they do well, but fuck do they do those well. And they don't do the other ones well, but that does not make them a bad army. So you just need to be prepared for them in their peak disposition.
Yeah. All right. No, I totally agree with Adeptus Sororitas. I do think it is still a very strong army. It can be piloted to a GT, by good players pretty well. But yeah, I do think it's going to struggle into certain matchups for sure. A faction that I don't think will struggle as much potentially is Adeptus Custodes, who are up next.
Yeah. Okay. Can I just do this right now? Pretty please.
You think so?
I think they're insane. I think bikes have gone up so much in value for me, and I can run 3 of them, and I don't have to worry about trash. I don't have to worry about scoring. I can take them on Purge the Foe, and I can just take 3 squads of bikes, all with captains. And then on top of that, I can take Might of the Moritai, which is the Telemon or the Dreadnought detachment.
Mm-hmm.
Stick a Telemon in there, put some Terminators in there, and just say, well, I'm going to. For those that don't remember, like the age of 9th edition, where people were running max bikes and just alphaing you off the board, this list can do that. And also potentially not trade with you, because after I kill you with something, I could move 12 inches.
Okay. I do think it is very good. I don't know. I'm not going to say it has to go down. I do think we'll see some other things that go above it. I do agree that they are very, very solid. Not only are they going to be very hard to remove, right, for armies that are going to struggle to get within 15 with multiple shooting assets and things like that. They're very elite, and when you can play a Purge the Foe style game where you are just able to get some pretty solid output out of those units once they touch you. I do think it's one of those things too. Like I also want to talk about, as we look through the lens of beginning of the edition, things that are just innately a stat check more than others, I think also are going to have additional value, and Custodes
100%.
do that. Like people are just not going to be prepared to deal with these across the board. I think I do think that is going to be a pretty big factor in Custodes' success. Is people just aren't going to be packing enough damage to deal with a lot of these lists, especially when they're as uninteractive as a bike heavy list that can just fight you and then go back 12 inches, which on these boards is pretty easy to go kill shit and then hide again. Like it's kind of fucking ridiculous.
All right, just to go through a few things. Eric, you said thanks for dropping the CSM list video the other day. I haven't had time to play through 11, so it was a good listen. Happy to help. And to be fair, Trey and Johnny do love talking about CSM. They're incredibly sold on them. They have all of the tools. I like them a lot. I think CSM will always be an army that is going to be in the top of the meta. It's just CSM players as a whole have had to use so much variety in their codexes that it's great. Let's see here. Yep, Will, you got here at the beginning. Absolutely. You love the Omnissiah, Lucas. We appreciate that. We actually were about to talk about them next. Jeez, okay. Truly, the top of the heap shall be occupied by Imperial Agents.
Mm-hmm.
Don't think that's as likely. Now, I will say that Imperial Agents actually have play because of one thing, which is they have access to OC modification, and they have access to what I would say is efficient units. Now, the problem is they don't kill anything, but in some of these dispos, you could get away with not killing anything. You could run a take and hold Imperial Agents list and just score, be on your objectives, do your regen, and be okay. Does that mean I think they're good? Unfortunately, no, because there's some armies that are going to really punish, and you have to be prepared for those things. And yeah, it's going to be difficult, but yes. And then Longinus, you said Custodes bike spam returns. It has. Yep, 100%. Not a doubt in my mind. Played it. It's good. Will continue to play it if I get the chance.
Okay. All right. Moving on to the Adeptus Mechanicus. I think their stocks definitely went up in the new edition compared to where they were in 10th. We talked a little bit about this in a previous video, but when you just have invulns across the board on all your trash units, getting the +1 to save didn't come up nearly as often for this unit as some other armies did that are kind of playing a similar style. So Admech being tough to kill, having with the buff from last October-ish, their damage actually being good. I think they're sitting in a reasonable spot. I do still think they're going to suffer from the same kind of troubles that sisters suffer from, where they're gonna run into Purge and some other things, and armies that just still can kind of do enough damage, and just really swamp them in ways that I think they're gonna struggle to consistently win GTs. Still 100% possible, but I think it's going to be tougher for them than some of these other armies, in my opinion.
Yeah, they have a few interesting tools. They have access to a couple interesting detachments. One I played the other day, which was like the Rad Zone detachment, where you get forced to either take mortals or take a battle shock, which prevents potentially or automatically battle shocking you if you choose to do it. If you're in your deployment zone or 6 inch outside of it. So like that was really interesting. The first time I played that detachment in a while. Definitely very annoying with my elves because don't have a lot of wounds, and all my stuff is kind of made of paper. So that was interesting for sure. Do I think they're a top tier army? No. Do I think they're above sisters? Probably not.
Yeah.
I think they're like in that same vein, though. I would
Yeah.
say that's probably fair. The way my spidey senses are tingling is like these are probably okay right where they're at.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right, Lane. Aeldari.
Aeldari. I've seen you play this a couple of times with the bikes detachment. Oh
Yeah.
shoot, what is that? What, Wind Rider?
Wind Rider.
Yeah. It seems solid.
I think it's got all the tools. Is it going to win a GT? Less likely.
Less likely. It's
Just
still
because
solid.
of correct. Just because on its best dispo, it's gonna have a hard time competing with the others.
Mhm.
Do I think the list is very good? Yes. Am I going to run it? Yes. Um, but that's just because I enjoy the list as a whole. So um, overall, just based on points, probably Big Mech Gubbins. This hurts me because I really want to run them, and I think I could win a GT with them.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, I
just like,
it's possible. I think it's one of those things where elite armies like this, I'm gonna put it for just like the average, like right, like I think it has to go a little lower because your threshold for mistakes in positioning in a brand new edition, as we get used to how it works, are much they mean a lot more for an elite army like Eldar, right?
yeah,
So I think it's just like you still definitely can do it, and I think it's possible, but Eldar are just they're just that little bit extra, and again, this is a scope. Even the things in Hive World Scrap could win a GT. You could do it with agents. Not to be spoilies, but I have a feeling they might end up down there. But it's within a scope. Like these are just going to struggle a little more to do it.
yeah. I mean, their points increases don't help,
Yeah,
but Fast Gun is still good,
yeah,
and Eldar is still freaking fast. Wind Rider Host is insanely fast. So like, this is still good. I I'm going to run this at a GT. Like if nothing changes as it is right now, I'd very happily run this. So yeah, cool. All right, Lane, your guard, Astra Militarum, where are they at?
They may not have the fastest guns, but they are still good. They're definitely not the top shooting army in the meta right now, but I don't know. I think they're probably still blessed by the dark gods. Honestly, there's lots of different styles you can play with them. They're very good at many different dispositions, and yeah, I mean, fast gun, pretty good. It's I think they're still just solid, and they have access to multiple different detachments that play the game very, very well. So I think it's even yet to be solved on probably like what's some of the best ways. Like there's like kind of like a top five, of ways people are looking at playing guard, but it's so varied and the codex is so deep that you can really tailor it to kind of play whatever. So it's pretty exciting.
Yeah, yeah, I think it's good. Definitely don't disagree here. It's just gonna do some of those like very simple dispositions higher on average.
Mhm.
So I'm very curious to see how this goes.
Yeah, I think the other reason too, we talked about kind of like Purge being a holdup for sisters, is like you still can just take some uber tanky like tanks, obviously, but like Bulgrin and stuff are they're just that little bit extra more annoying and harder to deal with in guard than some of the stuff in sisters. And applying the damage from guard is generally a little bit easier for a lot of these missions.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. The Black Templars.
Well, they're still Marines.
They are still Marines.
Yeah.
They're still Marines. They still have access to all the good data sheets. My bias is so strong on these because I genuinely believe in the Crusader bricks and the a reactive into a Blood Surge in 11th edition is so good because not only could that allow me to get into combat with you, but that could allow me to get close enough to you to freaking heroic you. And you might be asking, well, Phil, that's a lot of CP. I was like, well, my reactive is usually, depending on the unit, it's usually free. Crusader squads, Blood Surge for free. Like, that's just their ability. And then I heroic into you. Like, that could completely change the outcome of a game. If done properly, right? In combination with the hidden mechanic, in combination with all those things, like I'm very high on them. I don't know.
I think so here's going to be one of the other things, right? They're still probably besides we don't have a death watch in here, but I think they're still probably maybe the weakest of the Space Marine variants currently. They still can do it, but a lot of people
Yeah.
who play Marines are still just going to play normal Marines, right? And stuff. So it's going to be one of those things. If we're talking, how many are we going to see? It's going to be a lot less because people are going to play these other options. So many of the other variants when it comes to Space Marines just do it a little better. The stuff you mentioned all had sauce. It still can be used to win. It's just that little bit tougher. Still have play.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's fair where they're at.
Okay. All right. I don't know if I'm willing. Like, this is just
That's
A-tier.
they're solid. They're just they're probably like the most. Yep, that's just A. You know, like they're fast. They have good melee. They benefit from so many of the rules and stuff. It's just they've got to be an A tier army. They don't do anything like excessively abusively, and like they're not going to stat check people in the same way that custodes are. But they're just a very solid. I just run and touch things. Like that's just Blood Angels.
Correct. And now they get to do it without having to do anything else.
Yeah.
Like RCO, I think, if I remember correctly, I'm gonna pull it up real quick. If I remember correctly, I thought RCO was taken hold. Just pull this up real quick. No, Rage Curse Onslaught is Purge the Foe.
Perfect. Yep, that sounds great to me. No notes.
Sounds pretty good. Sounds almost like exactly what we want to do. Lag is running Taken Hold, which is also good. Angelic Host, also good. 2 DP, that's Disruption, less good. But there's a few, let's see, 1 DP detachments. Which one do we like? Legacy of Grace, Headhunter, or Wrath. Wrath of the Doomed, which gets you Purge. So, like, you could run Angelic and Wrath and get yourself to Purge, which is, for a lot of these armies, they want to do. I like this a lot.
Yeah, no, it's great. Yeah. Up next, Chaos Space Marines, and if Trey or Johnny's playing it, probably Hive World Scrap. Anybody else, no. Yeah, I think they'd be pretty mad if they're at least not blessed by the Dark Gods. I think that's more than like they've at least got to be there. They're going to be solid. Still a ton of damage. Some battle shock shenanigans with various builds. CSM's good.
CSM's good. They have all the tools. They like taking hold. They like priority assets. They obviously love purge, right? Like all those things they do well. And their detachments, they have a lot of 2DP detachments that they can use to get some flexibility. And as those that watch the video that we talked about CSM, obviously there's a strong desire to do purge when you have an army that is very lethal into a lot of different things.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
All right. The Dangles, the Dark Angels.
Yeah.
Got a little hot take. Kind of, maybe. Best detachment on best dispo, I think they're A tier. I think Ravenwing, like Alpha Strike, bunch of speeders with plasma. I've seen it. It's very good. It's very fast. Fast guns are good. It's still Space Marines.
Yeah, because isn't it? There's a one DP detachment that buffs speeders, and you can still put it with like Company of Hunters,
Correct.
and it is fast as all hell and can be in your biscuits immediately. Yeah, it's pretty solid. I would not disagree with that one bit. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, you still have access to Unforgiven. You still have access. Like, you could still run Iron Storm in this if you're going to run a bunch of speeders. That's 2DP. That has Purge. That gives you the built-in rerolls. Like, and then maybe you run Dark Age Arsenal or something like that, potentially.
Yeah.
Maybe there's some list that y'all are going to see soon that have a bunch of Space Marines in it. I would say if you want a good idea of what 11th edition is going to look like, this coming weekend, I will be at ATC. There is a lot of teams there with a lot of great players. If there's one place you're going to see good lists with good players in 11th edition, it's at ATC. So, check out BCP. You'll see the list that I'm running. I won't reveal it just yet, but lists are getting locked tonight. So you will see it tonight after lists are locked, and you'll see what I'm running. So, yeah, it should be really interesting. But Dark Angels, I think, are one of the best, if not, second or third best Space Marines. I think they could compete with Blood Angels because they do a few things differently. But I think we're splitting hairs up here. These guys are going to be so close together and could play into the top armies. So, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Before we move on to the Stinky Boys, let's catch up on chat. Joe Kitsum said those Wind Rider bikes hit way harder than they did in 10th. I think Phil would agree after some play testing. Yeah, they definitely do. And yes, -1 ballistic skill does hurt 4-up armies pretty bad as a guard player. Myself, it's just things are almost constantly in smoke. But it comes down to some positioning. I've also it's one of those things where I might be -1 to hit, but it's still 3 Dorns whose AP stick. So they still chew through stuff pretty well. And B for Black Templars, who would have thought being slow and frail would be bad in 11th? Yes, they are suffering a little bit more than we'd like. Black Templars still playable. Don't be all doomy. They can do it. And Samael give bikes fly. Holy shnikes. Yeah, that's another reason to play Company of Hunters. I that's like one thing I don't really want to have to play into at all. Yeah. Whew. Damn. Okay. All right. The Stinky Boys, Phil. Where are the Stinky Boys going? Death Guard.
Okay. Well, guys, they're not fast. Death Guard is not fast. They can be fast. They can do things that would make you believe that they are fast. They are actually not fast in the grand scheme of the game of 40k, of what we actually state as being fast. Do they have tools in the meta? Yes. I think that Death Shroud Terminators, the fact that I'll just tell you now, ATC has ruled that Death Shroud Terminators can get their 6-inch rapid ingress back. That should not be a thing, right? Like, is 6-inch rapid deep strike good? Yes. Does it break the game? I wouldn't say it breaks the game, but there are some armies. So, there are some armies that are going to run Purge. that don't have the screening pieces to prevent you from 6-inch deep striking and getting into something that you don't want them to get into. And that sucks. So, like, in combination with the meta, 6-inch deep strike has gotten better. There are some armies that will be able to screen that kind of stuff out, but it's going to be even harder to screen because if I can 6-inch deep strike on you, that means that like an 8-inch or like a 6-inch bubble is much harder to screen from. So yeah, definitely interesting there. The Defiler going up in points was bound to happen. We went up what I would consider the least. I still think they're very good. I think they have certain builds that are solid. I think they could do, like, honestly, the easiest thing is like run Virulent, run Take and Hold, run big, massive bricks of Blightlord Terminators, throw Mortarion in there if you're feeling spicy. And then you're just like, okay, I'm just going to like sit on these two objectives. And Mortarion's either going to allow me to like 5-inch reactive, fight on death, or like absolutely obliterate you with Blightlord Terminators if you decide to shoot me. So, like, what are we actually doing here? And they'll just score their 10 pluses on a mission like Take and Hold and be perfectly okay, right? So I don't think they're a top 8 army. I think they beat some armies really badly. Like, there's some armies that now when I go to -4 or -3 AP with my Contagion, your benefits of cover mean nothing. And I have lethal hits, and some of my detachments, I'll have access to rerolls, and I have a good amount of flamers. So like, I'm really gonna hurt you now. I probably put them in B tier. I probably put them up at the sisters level, playing their right detachment with right dispo.
Yeah, I think that's fair. And yeah, it could be flip flopped either way, honestly, in my opinion, between them and sisters. But they're upper tech priest for sure. Yeah. Okay, Drukhari, the fragilest of little kinky elves you ever did see. Gonna be
Fast gun
solid.
good.
Fast gun, fast melee, fast everything is pretty solid. I do think the things that they struggle with is still going to be with the way new interrupts and stuff work. I think they're going to suffer higher losses on big go turns, and they're also going to suffer from being a 7-up leadership army. Is going to be the other thing that really makes them struggle. I personally think they're bottom of Blessed by the Dark Gods. Personally, and again, this is all kind of splitting hairs, but those are like the pitfalls for Drukhari as an army. They're fast, but they are fragile, and they also just if you run into Tyranids and it's a big old stat check and you can't maybe get some of your strats online, say goodbye to your run. I'm sorry, but
can Drukhari actually kill 6 Norns? I don't think so.
I don't think so. And there's a reason why 6 Norns might just might be on the table because it's very good. Yeah.
Okay. All right. You could sell me on that. I still think Fast Gun is good. Scourges are good. Raiders are good. Witches are good. They can punch up. They have access to rerolls. They have access to Lance. Like, they're solid. Okay. Yep. Emperor's Children. They were dominating the meta for a bit. They finally got a good Defiler, a good long-range shooting asset to help them work the board. Are they still a top-tier army? They're fast.
Yeah. They are fast. Do they do the things as well as some of these others? Because kind of my initial thoughts are they're probably somewhere in Blessed by the Dark Gods. They're a solid army, but where exactly they fit in, their access to precision, absolutely great. Love seeing that. The problem is like they're still suffering from like not having a ton of smaller units. to be able to. I know you can play Purge, you just go with big old bricks, but there's still some struggles in like playing against things that can just like make you trade down really hard. I think. Or have good interrupts because they're very. I mean, they have some shooting stuff in there as well, but I feel like making it to melee is like the bread and butter still of EC, despite the actual shooting assets they now have. Um, I don't know. I want to say probably above Drukhari, below Dark Angels would be kind of where I feel.
Ooh, okay.
Is that
I mean, Tormentors, I think, went down in points. Obviously, Defilers went up. Um, their Flying Demon Princes obviously went up in value. They can stage them a lot better now, and be more aggressive with them. And obviously, that's still one of their key pieces is Flying Demon Princes. I think so. Like we have like technically like two, if not three, decent mid-range to combat armies in this top of the meta. Their coterie is Purge. Their 3 point detachment is Purge, and that's what they probably want to run.
mm-hmm.
I think like a list like a traditional 10th edition EC list can go into something like Recon or Disruption or even Priority Assets and pick on some of these armies that they're trying to like be cute with it and just absolutely dice them.
Yeah.
So I'm very curious. This is, yeah, we have enough players, Frank being one of them that plays EC in the local meta. And I'm I would not be shocked. This would not shock me.
Yeah.
Okay. The Cult, the Genestealers. All right, boys. Do I think GSC can win a GT? Yes, I can. Is it going to be hard? Yes. You will have to play a different type of game than everyone else because you will have to play most likely Disruption or Recon, but you also have to be able to kill things. Like that's the one thing that I think people will eventually realize if you haven't already is like Disruption isn't just like be sneaky, do actions. It's like no, you still have to murder things, and for some of these purge armies and stuff like that, or take and hold armies like we just talked about with like Death Guard.
Yeah.
Genestealers can't kill that. They cannot. I cannot kill 3 wound Terminators to save my freaking life. I'm not going to kill a brick of 10. It's not going to happen. But, like, you're going to have to be more careful. I think, like, are they fast? Yes. Do they have tricks? Absolutely. They're going to probably play priority asset. Sorry, they're probably going to play Disruption and Recon the best, if not close to the best. Their points hits kind of suck, but still very much playable. It's just like you still have to be able to kill things, and sometimes we struggle. And then when you make me -1 to hit, it feels extra bad. So I'm like always taking mortars so I can strip cover. Because man, if I'm -1 to hit, fuck, is that tough?
Yeah, yeah. It's possible. It's just again they're very pigeonholed in their play style with the current layout. So
yeah, they can do it. I will do it.
Yeah.
Phil said he's playing a lot of lists. I've said I'm playing a lot of lists. I'm playing Aeldari. I'm playing Black Templars. I'm playing GSC. I'm playing Custodes. So I got a bunch of armies I need to get. I played with all of them, but I need more. Yeah.
Cool. All right. Grey Knights. Is Psychic good these days? Is that a thing?
Good.
Yeah,
it's pretty good right now.
Yeah. Does that help them go up the tier list any from being the like always B or C tier army that they were in 10th?
I think so.
You think they're that good?
I think they're that good.
Oh damn!
I think their detachments are incredibly strong. I think Up Down and Deep Strike has gone up significantly in value.
Yeah.
So like those things lead me to feel like Grey Knights are very good.
Okay. Yeah. And it comes down to a lot of the same things that Custodes have going on, right? Like Grey Knights still 2-up save the army. They might not have as widespread of 4-up invulns,
Yeah.
but they are still very, very tough, very tanky. You know, regenerating Arthesiums on those Terminator bricks is a problem if you aren't careful, especially if they leave for a little while and then come back. Yeah, it is tough. I think I think it's one of those things that personally I was going to say top of blessed. I do think they are very, very solid, but I can be sold on Mastercrafted. I think they're still going to struggle. 8-inch deep strike still solid, right? But the thing that I think is they did take some points hits for being psychic, and I think it's one of those things where it's like I think they just aren't quite as purgy as some, because I like they can play any of the missions pretty well because of how fast and mobile they are, but I think they're just maybe in a weird, like, not as good of damage output as other elite armies like Custodes. And then yeah, I don't know. I think they're definitely towards the top, but for me I think they're top of blessed, honestly.
Okay, let's see how the rest of it shakes out. We'll see who else is in the Mastercrafted tier,
Okay.
and then we'll see if we need to knock them down.
Okay.
All right, Imperial Agents.
Ka-chow.
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I want my Imperial Agents players to go have fun and play the game, but like we just talked about with GSC, right? Like I can't kill anything with GSC. At least I'm fast. At least I could probably do recon and disruption. Most likely recon. Um, Imperial Agents is not fast. It's like mass body spam, which I've seen. Our good friend Patrick Love played it into me. I thought it was very interesting, but it's not. It's not where it needs to be. They have not given the support that Imperial Agents needs to run this. Now, if you are a Imperial Agents fanatic and you're just going to run that, great, do that. You know, Folger Piles proved that, you know, a good enough player, you know, with the reps can go and practice this and take a list like this and do well.
Yeah.
But that is a high skill ceiling and very low floor because some of these matchups are going to you're just going to lose, unfortunately.
Yeah. Maybe one day they'll get a second codex that they'll get people to buy and add like 3 units, and it'll change the world. No, I'm just kidding. Oh, yeah. Hopefully they get some love, but until then, it's a tough life as an Imperial agent. Yeah. Catching up on some chat here. Hard to deal with that uppy down when it comes to Grey Knights. Yep. They can be a pain, especially Banishers. Banishers is going to be its stocks went back up quite a bit with the ability to go back into Deep Strike or even turn one a 6-inch flat reactive move. Reactives in 11th, so much better, especially against melee armies. Does help their stocks. I think they're overpriced with the change to Psychic. Yeah, their prices went up for sure. It's going to be one of those things that I want to see at least how much it matters. I think they still have good output, and ignoring mods definitely helps. But is it going to be worth their points cost? I still have yet to see. Mastercrafted is a hot take. Clip this, yeah, Caleb, clip it. That way, if Phil is completely wrong, you can never let him live it down. Yeah. Okay, Imperial Knights. You know, I think both versions of Knights are probably going to be in a very similar situation. Honestly, they both are now paying taxes for their better guns, for taking multiples of things. Like I think they're going to end up in touch by a tech priest. Like they're still solid. They can do it. They just, I don't know. They're going to really struggle into some of those better purge armies that can just bring them down like they're nothing. But those other armies have the advantage of positioning, having better, rapid ingress and access to like really just getting deep striking bricks of Custodes that are going to be like, well, I know you can't shoot me here. So then I'll just run out and kill you. Like I think that's going to be kind of where they fall short. Is I think they can easily put up good wins in a tournament, but I think it's going to be harder to play some of the top things in the meta because you can't deny very good rapids and very good just normal deep strikes against some of these best armies.
Okay, agreed. And I want to group them together because I think they're gonna fall in the same vein. But like, there are going to be some armies that can't deal with 5 bigs on purge.
Yeah.
Like, and the purge mentality is going to be, I'm going to jam you, kill you, and then I'm just going to outscore you the rest of the game. And as long as they've killed the assets that are going to stop them from killing knights, like, yes, 11th edition, you could score 15 points in your final turn with 2 units. It's insane. But like, I think this is going to be the new. This is not the new. Okay, this is going to be the same thing that Knights did before. Is everyone's going to be prepared for 5 big Knights on purge or 6 big Knights on purge, whatever that combo is. Everyone's going to be prepared for 5 or 6 big Knights. So you, as the Knights player, has to take that into consideration, and then everyone else who's list building should be prepared for that. I'm just telling you right now, whether it's a singles tournament, whether it's teams, just be prepared for 5 or 6 big Knights. Maybe there's some Guos in there on the Chaos Knight side. Maybe there's a bunch of Lancers in there. Like, just be prepared.
Yeah.
Whatever you need to do.
Yeah. Yeah, I do think I would put Chaos Knights above Imperial Knights. I do think the Battle Shock shenanigans, as well as just their general access to better, more like specific War Dog equivalents is just very noticeable. So yeah, I think they're going to be one of those armies that like 4 and 2 is going to be very easy to come by with this army. But when you run into the top tables of things that are prepared to deal with you, you're going to struggle.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. Leagues of Votan. Let's do a little shout out right now because I know he's in the chat. We'll leave it to Caleb. You are in the chat. I know you are. Where do you think you rank your Votan? You love them. You're very high on them. I've been told otherwise by other people that I trust have said very strongly that they do not believe that Votan is nearly as good in 11th edition. Where do you think Votan land? Blessed by the Dark Gods, 100%. Like, are they above these Space Marine armies? Are they above CSM?
So we'll see what Caleb says. I'm gonna say like probably right around Dark Angels is where I think they're gonna go. To be fair, Caleb, you do only play Trey and his CSM, so that combo is mastercrafted for sure. But I don't know. We'll see. I like they're definitely spicy for sure. Wait till you see it, dude. I'm sure one of these days I will have to see it, and I don't want to. But it is good. I think Leagues of Votan does have sauce though. They still are, they are one of the biggest benefiters of the new edition change, right? Being on objectives, things that you need to kill are on objectives. Objectives are massive, right? It's so much easier to see those things, and they actually can punish people. Now there's 6-inch deep strike. If you're playing either of the Hearthband detachments, very, very solid. Yeah, I think they may not be the fastest army in the game, but they have access to detachments that make up for that lack of speed.
Yeah, the only downside for them is they're a 4-up ballistic skill army. So, like, they have to get that +1 to hit. They have to get that ignore cover. Is, like, Delve going to be good? I don't think so. I think that the Hackathons really benefit from being able to toe in a cover and be able to shoot out of it because mobility is, at a premium for Votan. But if you could just toe into some of these things and get all the line of firing lanes that you want, that's pretty solid. So, yeah, this feels all right. Okay.
That's fair. I do agree. I think CSM is probably better than guard in all, like at least at a minimum. We got to at least bump it up
Okay.
that much,
Okay.
if
All
not
right.
higher. But yeah, it's solid. Necrons, the undying motherfuckers. The greenest MFM sheet in the entire fucking update, dude. So many points reductions. Took another hit on like Catan and just everything else all went down. The destroyer detachment, I think, is pretty spicy now. Very solid. You can actually kind of stage on a lot of these maps a little bit easier, and you may not be able to do the 20 dudes strung out to 3 objectives that you used to with Oricon, but you still can't fucking deal with them very well. Like, they still just definitively can be like, well, I'm going to stand here and you're never going to remove me because you can't get enough shots within 15 inches.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. And then also with the resurrection that has not been fixed is like you can bring back character models. Like you precision out and they have a strat for standing back up, and then they can just resurrect the character model and then resurrect more units on top of it. It's bad. I've seen it. I've asked. I'll let you know what GW says because they will be there this weekend answering a bunch of our questions, so we can understand a lot of the rulings. That way, we can take those back to the rest of the community. So I will be asking all of these questions, but we have gotten rulings from ATC regarding Necrons, and it is terrifying. I am mucho concerned about what the things that people are going to do with like what I genuinely believe is like Awakened Dynasty being one of the best of just like it's always going to score. You can never stop it. It's just so good. Yeah, it's a problem.
It is strong for sure. Yeah. Up next, another Horde army. Depending on how you play it.
Yeah.
I think the Horde army is pretty good. At least 1 or 2 20-man boys running around in almost every list that I've kind of seen people looking at, because it is a problem that you can actually present people with how heavy these boards are. Getting to play against Ryan and stuff, like you can really just kind of toe on behind stuff as long as you're paying attention to your hidden. It's an actual deliverable problem now, that
Yeah.
you can put in people's face.
Yeah, I think combat armies initially everyone got a bad take or got a bad feeling because they're just like, oh, our opponent all they have to do is toe into terrain. Well, that means they're close enough to be charged in a lot of these scenarios and a lot of these layouts. And there's some armies that like are gonna be able to stage from locations based on some of these maps and get into where they know you have to be to poke in to see them. And that's like the chess game that we will be talking about in our layout series of like, hey, we know they're gonna have to toe in here. Do I have an asset to go after when they toe in that shooting asset that I know I need to get rid of? I either am prepared to do that or I'm not. So like all of those things definitely matter. All those things you need to be prepared for. Orks, if Derek is to be believed, he is very confident with his orks. I get that. I understand. Do I think they're at the top of the meta?
I think they're like mid blessed, honestly. I think they are
Yeah.
very, very solid. And they might be a little lower. The only reason I would say is like they still lack some good AP even in their melee. Like
Yeah.
I would like to see just a little bit more AP out of them. And I think that's a perfectly fair spot where they're at. Yeah, I think they're solid. I don't think they're going to be playing all 5 dispositions. I think they're going to play like 2 or 3 really well.
Yep.
But that's all you need.
Cool. All right. The Blue Boys, Space Marines.
I mean,
Uh,
they're pretty
just
good.
they're pretty good. Like when you have a codex this deep, which is annoying, right? Like they have every unit you could possibly want. They have so much variation and so many tools. Like Kato, his stonks went way up because his reactive is in any phase. It's in your turn. It's in my turn. It's flat 6 on top of the new heroic, on top of blood surges. Like, it's just, I don't know. When an army has all of the tools, it can feel bad for a lot of people. Vindies are still good, right? Like, Oath is still insane. You have access to +1 to hit with incursors, right? Like, there's not a tool that you don't have. And for players that have to play a certain way, it's very frustrating to look at Space Marines. And this is me, like, me speaking from as a Space Marine player who has played them multiple times, who's taken them to GTs and done well. It's like, I get why that's frustrating, because everyone else has to make sacrifices when it comes to playing certain styles. Space Marines don't necessarily have to do that. They can do all of the things, and they kind of get the best versions of it. Like, people used to say, oh, it's kind of like the average. No, I probably get the best version of advanced in charge. I get the best version of reactive. I get the best version of shooting. I get the most efficiency with full rerolls to hit and +1 to wound for not a strat. Nobody else gets that in the game except for Space Marines.
I mean, it's because of that access, right? They've got to be one of the best armies. Like, when it comes to can you win a GT? Yes, it is Space Marines. You can win the game with more dispositions, probably easier than any other faction in the game, because of that variability and access to good stuff. So yeah, I agree. I think they're incredibly solid. I don't think they're maybe as abusive at certain things as some of these other armies are that we have up here, but they just play some of the most solid, well-rounded 40k because of their rules.
Yeah, and that just makes them scary, right? That just makes them good. I get it. I get the frustration when it comes to people talking about Space Marines and everything that they have. So, okay, real quick, we'll catch up on the chat. Joe Kid says, "Why did the Reanimator go down in points? It shouldn't have." Josh Roberts, I guess, is the explanation. Like, that doesn't feel balanced. Necrons don't feel balanced. Yeah, and then Star Shatter DDA's flat 6 advantage and free pivot, take to the skies, see everything. Like, you're right. There's nothing that they won't be able to go point and look at and see because of how long they are, and free pivots. I thought we were done with that. Like, I thought, when 10th edition got rid of that, I was like, oh, yeah, no, absolutely. Like, there are some units that really take advantage of it, whether it be Riptides, whether it be DDAs, whether it be freaking Fire Prisms, right? Like, all of those things, being able to free pivot is tough. Should not be the case.
Yeah, it is. It is spicy for sure. Yeah, don't love seeing that, to be honest.
Okay, cool. And then last, just tuned in, can't tell what faction is what for some. Okay.
Yeah, I think it's because we are doing it live, so the upload speed sometimes is not quite enough.
Okay.
Okay.
That's absolutely fair.
Yep. Before we hit that home stretch, I am going to do a quick shout out. I did release my, if you didn't see it in our announcements in our Discord for the general population, I'm going to drop this here before you tune out at the end. Lanesworkshop.com is my store that I opened up. It's where I'm also going to be posting my events. So go check that out. I've got a cool little measuring tool. I've got almost full sets of terrain that are ready to go. Scatters and areas are ready. So if you need some of those things, let me know. It helps support me personally, and then it lets us do cooler things here. But yeah, Space Wolves up next.
Cool. The Wolves of Space. Are Terminators good? Yes. Are 4-1 Terminators better? Yes. Is Advance in Charge good? Absolutely. Do they have some of the coolest characters in the game? Yes. I think they're incredibly solid. I think they are going to be knocking on the door. Would not be shocked to see Space Marines everywhere.
Yeah.
It's just good.
Yeah.
They are just Space Marines. They are good. Like, I would put them in this range.
Yeah. I think that's totally fair. They're incredibly fast, incredibly durable. They can play a couple of those different missions very well. Take and hold and purge specifically, um, very solid.
Okay. Okay, Lane. Tau, do you just put them up here for right now?
I mean, if they're probably not the strongest army, I don't know what is. Fast gun,
I think there's
good.
one stronger.
You think? Okay, okay, that's fair. Another tier, a T coming up here soon.
Yes.
Yeah, that is fair. That is very good, but it has got to be above everything that's up there currently.
Correct. Yes.
Fast gun, very very good, especially when your army rule does not care about the biggest bane to shooting armies in the edition. You don't give two fucks about cover because you just ignore it, and you
Yeah.
can be anywhere on the board at any time almost. And yeah, it's great. It's very good.
Gino says, our guard's still good. Was big sad seeing our points go up by a lot. Lane, you are a guard aficionado. Can you quell Gino's poor heart? Can we tell him that guard are still decent?
Yeah, they're still definitely solid. They have the ability. A lot of people are looking at like you can still just play recon and be like, can you chew through this? And the answer for a lot of these armies, especially armies that are like, well, I took recon or even disruption, and I need to be doing actions and other things, are really going to struggle to kill you. You can still just play grizzled and go do the thing. Try and hold the middle, kill one thing, do an action. You're just set up to very easily score a lot of points if you build for it. Yeah, I think guard is still very very good. They're not they don't always have answers in some of these top things, but overall, guard is just a solid army.
Okay. All right. Top tier up next. What I believe to be the best army in the game right now, it's T-Sons.
Really? Okay.
I just 12 robots is insane. I've seen what that list can do. I think anyone could probably run that halfway decently, and it's not as like Scarab Cult. It's not as the new list is not as simple as Scarab Cult Terminators, but I just think this list is so insanely good that it's the best in the game. I'm convinced. I've watched it. It's
Okay.
insane.
Okay. I have yet to see that sauce, I guess. So I am uninformed on that list specifically because I think
You'll
T
see it
Suns
this
are
weekend.
okay. Okay, yeah, I think T Suns are very very good, but I don't know that surprised me. But okay,
You're gonna see the T Suns versus Tau matchup, and I know for a fact that the T Suns will win the majority of those games.
okay, fair enough.
Okay. All right. Next up, the Nids. Our good buddy Med Evans. Obviously, very, very high on Nids. It's what he's always played. But where do they stand? Because they have probably what would be the easiest way to battle shock in the game of their aura at the beginning of any command phase. Why can't I remember the name?
The Shadows of the Warp.
Shadows of the Warp. Thank you very much. But does that mean that they are going to be hunting some of these top armies?
I just think their ability to stat check people is still very very high. They still have some of the even if we take basically Matt's old list from 10th, the ability to just swamp that center objective and be like, can you kill me fast enough, is still a thing that I don't know if most armies can say yes to.
Sure. Does that put them like here?
Um,
Like blessed by the dark gods, bottom side, or
I think they're blessed for sure. I don't know. I personally, I think I think their shenanigans are good enough. I'd put them like above Space Wolves personally.
Okay. Caleb's Votan are still safe. They have not been jumped yet, besides the two armies that we both know. I think Caleb would agree as well that Tau and T-Suns fairly are there at the top of the meta.
Okay.
Dark Jaw says 3 to 4 Baneblade list with Steelhammer or bust. Is that Purge? That's the real question. Is that
Lord, I hope Purge? So. It's Recon.
Steelhammer is Purge. Okay. So, yes, if you're going to run something like that, maybe Purge is the thing for you. You can't hide from anything. Hopefully you don't play into, like, I don't know, a bunch of wave serpents with fire dragons. That's pretty terrifying. But I can't wait. I can't wait to see all of y'all's very imaginative ways to play 40k on the tabletop, because 11th edition is going to be wild.
Yeah.
It's going to be wild. All right. Last but not least is the World Eaters.
Yeah.
Have you played into World Eaters yet, Lane?
Yes. Yes, I have. I've also played a game as World Eaters, oddly enough. And I think they're pretty good. I would say, despite all the dooming a year ago about losing advance and charge across the board, 6-inch pile and consolidate in a edition that really just benefits you from getting multiple activations and having multiple, a 6-inch pile in and then a 6-inch overrun and then a 6-inch consolidate. It's crazy how much space you can take. And yeah, I tried playing just like a teaching game with somebody, and it was like 1,200 points as a game, and it was very, very hard to actively screen that out compared to how easy it was in 10th.
Yeah, it doesn't shock me. But this is we put Blood Angels at the top, and they are pretty much a pure combat army. They're not taking a lot of extra tools. Orcs the same way. They're one of those pure combat armies. Primarily, where do we put Orcs at? Because
I'd put them above Guard. I'd put them right below CSM. I think they're very good. They are better than Guard in the current edition.
So we're saying that World Eaters have jumped up in value where we had them previously in 10th, where I think you're right. In some circumstances, and time will tell, of like, hey, terrain is more dense. And hidden is a real thing. And when an army just doesn't want to shoot, they can take advantage of hidden in very unique ways. They have good access to good threat ranges. Is Berserker Warband the thing for you? Probably.
Dude, it's great, man. Like, I generally do pretty well against screening out, but being able to just literally, they rapid ingressed just outside of 15 from Adorn and have a 10-inch move. Like, you know how hard that is to be like, generally I could just be like, oh, I have firing lanes. I can cover this amount of the board. The extra zoning and screening it would take me an entire game to prevent that from boning the shit out of me and touching a tank is much higher now. Like it actively is tougher to deal with. You still beat World Eaters as a guard player. That's not a thing that's impossible. It just is much harder when it comes to necessary units to screen.
Yeah. Fair. Absolutely fair. Cool. Well, that is the last army. We could do an honorable mention for Death Watch, because they only have the one detachment with one disposition. Death Watch are still kind of silly, I would say. They have access to great free damage. They have access to ignore cover. They have access to oath. They have access to up down. All the things that we say are good in this edition, they have access to. Do I put them very high? I think so. I think I put them like bottom of Blessed, maybe top of Touched by Tech Priest.
I think Death Guard is probably more reliable, personally.
Sure, you can tell me on that. Yeah. This is a very top-heavy tier list, Lane.
I mean, we've talked about this a lot too, though, right? Like we're splitting hairs to a certain degree. The game, and that's like this is what we want. Actually, is things that feel like they can play the game very, very well. It's still going to be easier for some armies than others. Even our bottom outliers, right? Like I don't think they're that far below the armies that are above them, right? Like we could shuffle around and make our breakpoints a little bit different here, but in general, like I'm fine with where this is at. Like the information is still kind of there from 1 down to 28 or whatever it is. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I think I'm happy with this.
Yeah, me too. I do think like Tau and T-Suns and Necrons, maybe you throw Ultras in there, are like they're pretty they're very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're very good.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Over to the comments. Y'all have anything? Any final thoughts? So, Will, you said you're running Taliban, Flybone, in Disruption. That's an interesting combination. I love Flybone. Like, that one is fantastic, right? Infiltrating Plague Marines is pretty freaking solid. To a local RTT, he's really think he's going to go place top 3. I can't wait to see. Make sure you hit us up after. I'd love to hear how it goes, and obviously trying to hear as many people as possible playing their fun armies. And obviously, I run Death Guards, so I'm very curious to see how you do.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for chatting in the actual live chat. Tell us in the comments though how you think we fucked this up. Right? Tell us we're garbage at this. We love to hear it. We're used to it by now. And you're probably right. We're all pretty bad. But we're all trying to get better. And victory isn't given. It is forged. It's forged right here on Mastercrafted. So yeah, we'll see y'all next time.
See you guys.